Want to know what I think?
Well, yeah.
You son of a bitch! It's a travesty! I will tell you!
Come on. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Come on, Joe. No.
Okay, come on.
Okay, all right.
Careful, Peter.
Oh, boy.
I will ruin this house with my anger!
Get out of my way, you stupid people! You think you're on a sidewalk? Rant!
Welcome back to the Drive Home Reviews podcast, where I review the movies that I have just seen as I am driving home from the theater. And fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. Fuck it, and fuck anyone who had anything even remotely to do with it. I wasn't expecting much. I'm going to be honest. All right? You go into something like this and the bar is pretty low. But I didn't think it was motherfucking possible for the bar to sink beneath the surface of the earth and bore down to the molten core deep within our planet. I cannot for the life of me find a single redeeming thing about this abomination. This absolute abomination. You know what? Let me save you all some time. Let me save you some money if you have not. Hopefully you were smarter than I was and did not actually spend money to see this thing. But in case you were considering it, let me save you some time. Go to the grocery store, buy yourself a couple packets of Skittles, chew them up, swallow them, and then look at the multicolored piece of shit that comes out of it. There. That is the general feeling of watching this. I can't even call it a movie. This is not a movie. I shouldn't have to be reviewing this. This is not a fucking movie. This is, you know what this is? Just like how Inside Out 2 gave us a very accurate visual representation of what an anxiety attack looks like, this movie is a visual representation of attention deficit disorder. Shit just flies at you. Shit just happens. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. There's no connective tissue. It's all just happening. And here's something that's happening. And we'll go over here and something is happening. And here's it happening. And here's it happening. This should be called That's a Reference, the movie. That's all this is 1,000 different references. Lightly strung together by the very thinnest of premises. So let's so if you want to know what the plot, if you can call it that, of this piece of muck is, okay, so Bowser's son kidnaps Princess Rosalita, who turns out to be Princess Peach's sister. Spoilers, fuck you, I don't care. And to use her star magic to power his Death Star gun that I think he's going to use to blow up the Mushroom Kingdom. It's very unclear. I think that's what he says. I don't know. I checked out. So that he and his father can live out all of the fantasies they had of doing father-son, world domination things together. And Princess Peach goes to rescue her. She learns the truth about her origins that she was whining about in the first movie and was also whining about in this one. And also Mario and Luigi and Yoshi are here. Okay, I'm going to try to take this one piece at a time. Okay? You know what? Back when the first one of these came out, I did a series of TikTok videos wherein I offered the opinion that the 90s Super Mario Brothers movie starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo was in fact a superior Super Mario Brothers movie to the animated one, I now have to revisit this and state that, yes, friends, the 90s Super Mario Brothers movie is a better Super Mario Brothers movie, I should stress that, than either one of these two pieces of shit. Yeah, let that sink in. You know, first of all, let's just say this. The 90s Super Brother Mario's movie had a fucking plot. Didn't have a good plot, but it had a plot. Characters' motivations made sense. What Koopa was trying to accomplish made sense within the logic of the world they set up. The Mario Brothers, Daisy, all of them, their plots made sense. But again, this one, there is no plot. There's a very thin, it's like an old musical review where there's a very thin plot binding together all of the musical numbers. But here there's not even anything as unique as that. There's just fucking, and here's a reference, and here's a reference, and there's another reference, let's reference as, okay. This is produced by Illumination, all right? And one of the defining characteristics of Illumination Animation, and that rhymes, is that they will sequel their properties to fucking death. They want a franchise. They want something that is going to spawn movie 2, 3, 4, upwards and onwards. If you need proof of this, this film was accompanied by a trailer for the next motherfucking Minions movie. Yes, we're still making Minions and Despicable Me movies. So, with that in mind, it feels like this should have been one of the easiest things in the world to do. Okay? How many Super Mario Brothers video games are there? I can't even begin to count. This is a franchise that is 40 fucking years old and has not had a gap in that 40 years where there hasn't been a Super Mario Brothers game or multiple games. So you want to do a film series of this that you can sequel to infinitum. Should be very simple. Start with the first one. And then you make the movie of the second one. And then you make the movie of the third one. And you gradually introduce these new characters and these new power-ups and these new worlds. Like, seriously, how hard is this?
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
But this movie, it feels like, you know the only thing this accurately depicts, the only way this kind of accurately recreates the feeling of playing a video game, it reminds me of when I was a kid and you're playing Super Mario and you're getting really far. And of course, back then they didn't have save points. You couldn't save your game. You know, if the system got turned off, you had to start all over again, you know? And this reminds me of you're playing your game and then you have to go somewhere, or your time on the system is running short because your parents said you can only play for this longer. So you're trying to finish the game and get as far as you can as quickly as possible before, you know, you lose the system. That's what this movie feels like. This movie feels like we have to reference every fucking thing, every fucking game, character, power-up, everything as fast as we can because Nintendo's going to take our toys away any second. So let's just get them all in there. Without any rhyme, without any reason, without any pacing. So you've shot your wad. You know, that's why the plot to this one and the first one were so fucking thin, because they did everything. They left no room for there to be anywhere to go. I just, and the things that they did do, okay, so one of the big selling points of this was a, end credit sequence at the, the end of the first one. Yoshi is here. Yay, Yoshi. Everybody remembers Yoshi. So you think, okay, Yoshi being involved in the story, that's now going to be a major element. Yoshi's going to come along. They tease it in the trailer. He comes and Toad is like, oh, wait, so he's one of the CUDA? So you're like, okay, so this movie's going to be about Yoshi and maybe finding out where he came from, or, him trying to fit into this group and Toad not really liking him, and he has to prove that he belongs and all of this. You're like, okay, standard. But that makes sense. That's something you can hang a movie on. Nope, none of that. Yoshi's just here. They find him. They know him. He's their friend. And yeah, Toad's a little pissy to him in the 2 scenes that they share. But it's all just fucking forgotten. Yoshi's just there. He's just part of the crew now. Why have any kind of character or any kind of, why have a story? Fucking Star Fox is here. Fucking Star Fox. They're referencing shit from other Nintendo games now. Star Fox is here. And he's like the Han Solo, right? He's that brash pilot. He's gonna help them get where they're going. I'm gonna talk more about that little incident in a second. He's gonna help them get where they're going, and then Mario shows up, and you're like, oh, okay, so there is a subplot, I'm using air quotes in this, let me back up, of Mario wanting to get with Princess Peach. He wants to ask her out on a date. That's his whole motivation for this movie. So when he comes by and finds that Star Fox is helping Princess Peach, you're like, okay, well, this is going to be a point of conflict. This is going to be Star Fox is kind of a dick. He doesn't like Mario, and Mario doesn't like him, and they're going to have to work together. Maybe this will lead to a Super Smash Brothers reference or something like that. No. They immediately like each other, immediately work together. No conflict, no nothing. Just, here's another thing. Here's another person. They fight the Tyrannosaurus from, the first one on the Switch. I forget which one it was. I can never keep these games. So I think it's Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World, or something like that. I don't know. But they fight the big T-Rex. Why? Nobody really knows. Just, it's a reference. Let's put it in there. They use power-ups in the big final battle that you're supposed to think is earned, but is not. That we've never seen before. We don't know what these are. But I guess people who've played every single game go, oh, I know what that does. Again, introduce these gradually. Have a movie where they have to find them. New powers, new things, new villains. I mentioned a minute ago that they should have just made, okay, they made the first one, now make the second one based off the second game. Well, they have all the villains from the second game. They have Wart and his crew. They're in there. They have a little scene, and then they're gone. Well, why fucking do something? But that's not my major problem. Here's my major problem, and it's the same fucking problem I had with the first one of these, and it's the main reason that I say that the 90s Mario Brothers movie is better than either one of these. Because the original Super Mario Brothers movie was actually about the Super Mario Brothers. They were the main characters. They had distinguishing personalities. They had character arcs. They had an established relationship. This movie seems dead set on pushing Super Mario and Luigi to the side. Like it's a burden having them here. Let's be honest, folks. This is a Princess Peach movie. This is a Princess Peach movie. And, okay. I want to make this clear. I do not have a problem with them redesigning Princess Peach's character and her function within the narrative. Princess Peach in the video games is a MacGuffin. It is her job, you know, people make the joke about it with Daphne from Scooby-Doo, but it is Princess Peach's job to get kidnapped. That is her role. That is what she is in all of the Super Mario Brothers games for. To be kidnapped, to go rescue the princess. By this point, it is almost a meta joke in the games. In one of them, she actually leaves a note at the beginning saying, Mario, due to my most recent kidnapping, you know, they reference it. They know that it's part of the joke. They do it in the same way Disney thinks they're being clever by, you know, being all meta about their shit.
Who marries the man she just met?
It's true love!
Whoa!
If you wear a dress and you have an animal sidekick, you're a princess.
Were you poisoned?
No.
Cursed?
No.
Kidnapped or enslaved?
No. Are you guys okay? Should I call the police?
Do you have daddy issues?
I don't even have a mom.
Neither do we!
That works for a video game. It works for this long-running video game because they have had offshoots and spin-offs. She's had her own game. She's, you know, in the party one. She's, you know, she goes go-karting. You know, it works for that. So you're going to adapt this to a movie. You can't just have her being kidnapped every movie and starting it over. You have to give her a more defined character. You have to give her greater agency. You know, it makes sense that you have to change her character up. So I have no objection to that. I don't have any objection even to her being more proactive. But the problem is, and this is the problem they had in the first one, is they made her so proactive and so good that Mario was not needed. What did they need Mario for in the first movie? What did he do that they couldn't? You know, in the first game, it's always kind of implied that because he and Luigi are from somewhere else, the power-ups affect them differently. The gravity affects them differently. That's why they can jump higher. That's why they can do all these things. That's why they had to be the hero. Kind of a John Carter kind of thing. But no, everybody can use the power-ups, everybody can jump high, and so there's nothing they do or nothing they brought to the table that made them the heroes. And in this one, that is even more obvious. Peach and Toad go off on the adventure to rescue Rosalita, and they basically tell Mario and Luigi, yeah, just stick around and wait for us to come back. And they do, and they just kind of hang around until the plot, as it is, kind of reels them into it. But even then, they are desperate to get rid of them. Bowser Jr. uses a gun, which is, for those who don't know, this might be a reference some of you didn't get, is a mock-up of this old, like, light bazooka that you used to be able to get from the Nintendo back in the day. And he turns them into babies. So, because that's a reference to Yoshi's Island. And they're babies for like 15 minutes. They have no impact on the plot. Peach and Toad have a huge battle. This multi-layer 3D spinning around battle in this casino. And you're like, wow, this is great. Would have been nice if the Super Mario Brothers were fucking involved in this shit. But, you know, no, we shut them to the side. And then you bring them back for the final battle with Bowser and Bowser Jr. like it's some kind of accomplishment. Like it's the crescendo of the piece. Like they have fought their way through all this way to do battle and to do this and that. No, it's basically just, well, Peach has to go save Rosalita, so somebody has to fight Bowser. I'm surprised they just didn't have Toad fucking do it and make Mario and Luigi short or shrink or something. This movie seems to actively hate the Super Mario Brothers. And say what you will. Again, say what you want about the original 90s one. Mario and Luigi were integral to the plot. There was a reason they were the heroes. They were brought in. They had character arcs they had to have. Not great ones. Don't get this twisted. Don't get any of this twisted. I am not trying to say that this movie is retroactively good. I'm not trying to pull a Star Wars prequel or Fox superhero movies thing, now trying to say, oh, those were really the best ones. Not trying to say that. It's the 90s Super Mario Brothers movie is still a shit movie, but it's a better Super Mario Brothers movie than either one of these. And you know what gets me? The 90s one, it's not good, but you know, I think they did the best they could with what they had. The Mario Brothers games are very difficult. They have a very specific aesthetic. They're very hard to recreate, especially in the 90s. If you tried to recreate that look and that feel in a live action movie in the 90s, it was going to look like shit. You know? So they did the best they could. They did the best to try to make it look realistic. Was that a good choice? No. You know, they also didn't have the budget. So yeah, that's why it's this post-apocalyptic Blade Runner sewer, because I know it was a set built for another movie. I think it was actually built for Waterworld, or they used some of the set in Waterworld. I can't remember. But I know it was a set that was actually built for another movie. And it was like, well, we don't have the budget, we'll use this. So it was, yeah, it's not a good movie, but there was effort. They tried to do the best they could with what they had. They really did. And yeah, it fell short, and yeah, it sucked. But, you know, they did what they could. This movie has no fucking excuse. It's got all the money backing it. It's got, you know, computer animators. You're not bound by the laws of reality. You can do anything you want, and this is what you try. So what they decided to do was fucking everything. Do everything. It just... And I can hear the people with their defenses. I can hear it coming. Oh, it's just a kid's movie. Oh, it's a Super Mario Brothers movie. Why are you holding it up? Why are you trying to make it more than it is? Do you know why? 2 reasons. 2 very important reasons. Number 1, this is Super fucking Mario. This is the game, y'all. This is a game that has been around for 41 years. It is not going outside of the realms to say generations of families have played these games. These characters, this world, they have been around and they have been important to people. Even people like me who hadn't played a Mario game for decades and then picked up a couple on the DS or the, I think it was the Game Boy Advance, it was one of them, and played it for the first time in years, and I could still play it. It felt, the graphics were better, the power-ups were different, but it was still that same game that made us fall in love with video games. It's the same reason why it's so important that Superman be treated right. He was the first superhero. He was the first. He was the building block, the blueprint. He's responsible for everything that came after, whether you like it or not. And this is how you treat that? This is how you treat that legacy? You piss all over it? But more to the point, people who say, oh, it's just a kid's movie. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hate that excuse. I hate that excuse. Oh, it's just a kid's movie. No. Making something for children does not give you permission to slack off. It is more important that you give it everything you got. And this is coming from me because I've worked in children's theater. I've directed children's theater. And yes, it's easy to just go, oh, it's kids theater, who cares? It's not going to Broadway. No, that does not mean that those kids deserve anything more than your best. Because the experience they have in that play, the experience other kids have watching that play, it leaves an impact. It is important. Just saying that, oh, it's for kids so we don't have to give any effort, or we can just throw shit at the screen and call it a day, that doesn't make it right. I'm not saying this has to be King Lear, okay? I'm not saying this has to be, as in-depth and nuanced as, Sinners or Gattaca. I'm not saying that. But there's a reason why we remember The Land Before Time and Fievel and The American Tale and Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid. There's a reason why I still remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, and Transformers, the movie. Because there was effort put in. Maybe cynical effort, but effort. They didn't just say, oh, this is for kids, we don't got to worry about it. No. They made good products that stuck with me. Is this going to stick with anybody? I have a hard time believing it will, because they'll just bring out a next one and just reference more shit, and it'll just be another Technicolor nightmare thrown on the pile. That's all it is, and that's what makes me the saddest. That's what makes me the maddest. Because a lot of things I could come out and just shrug it off and say, okay, bad movie, bad kids movie, whatever. No. This was lazy. This was lazy, arrogant, cynical. This is the worst example of these intellectual properties being made into movies. This is the absolute worst of it. And yeah, it's made a shit ton of money, so yeah, they're going to make a shit ton more. But just because it was financially successful doesn't mean it's good. This is atrocious, folks. This is absolutely atrocious. The only thing that really doesn't bug me about this is that, I still, Charlie Day and Chris Pratt are still the most miscast people ever. But, at least Mario and Luigi are barely in it, so, you don't have to listen to them. But fuck, if I have to hear Chris Pratt go, woohoo! One more goddamn time. I nearly walked out. He did that so much. It's ridiculous. Bowser has more character and a bigger character arc than our heroes. And they don't stick to it, but at least he had one. This kind of movie it makes me tired, y'all. It makes me tired and angry and bitter. And the fact that people wolf it down is just because we've been trained that this is the best we're gonna get. This is as good as it gets, folks. And yeah, maybe once upon a time, it's kind of like the comic book movies. Once upon a time, yeah, X-Men 3 and, the Phantom and all that, yeah, it was as good as it was going to get because it's all there fucking was. We deserve better. Kids deserve better. The generations of fans deserve better. It's not even a problem of, this is the best they could do like it was with the 90s. It was, this is all they thought they had to do. This is all the effort they put in. And that's it. And, you want to gobble it down, fine, but I think we should hold these things accountable. We deserve better. We deserve better than the bare minimum, a bunch of fucking references thrown at us like that counts as a plot. No, there's no excuse for this. So yeah, I hate this movie. Hate it, and I don't feel bad about it. So let's wrap this up, because I never want to think about this movie again. So final grade for Super Mario Galaxy movie, it's a fucking F. What do you think it was going to be? You think I was going to do a swerve and go, oh, it's an A, by the way? No, it's a fucking F. It's dog shit. It's not even dog shit. Dog shit is a vital component to the circle of life. This holds no value. None whatsoever. So, yeah, fuck this movie. Fuck this movie and anybody involved with it. That's my 2 cents. Okay, well, that was a jolly little ride we just took. So, anyway, so thanks for coming along. Thanks for listening to me rant. And hope you're all doing well. And as always, drive safe, and I will see you at the movies.